He doesn't know the meaning of the word sleep.
And I could just hear him screaming and screaming and screaming.
What happens when you can't get through to your baby?
There were times when I yelled.
He's making me very angry.
There were times when I cried.
I can't go in there.
I have to have 10 minutes to sit down with Explosion Point.
I spanked.
Tonight on Frontline, there is help when the bow breaks.
Last year, Frontline presented the powerful story of a family in crisis. A mother.
And here you are, 11 years old, that gets a bigger allowance for her, stealing hers.
A father.
Kids your age are the laziest, inconsiderate, thoughtless people I've ever met in my life.
And their problem child.
You help it!
Yes, you can! It wasn't a lot.
A story that revealed the problem with children can often be traced to their parents.
I'll tell you, Evan, you'd have been me, you'd be dead. Because my father would have killed you.
The Trouble with Evan documented the family's struggle using an innovative technique. Surveillance cameras placed in the home with the family's permission. The film was the work of award-winning Canadian producer Neil Docherty, who, faced with the task of raising his own 2 young sons alone, set off to explore the struggles of parenting in a series of films.
You like to smoke? You like to steal cigarettes? Smoke it!
Tonight, in his latest work, Docherty searches for answers to the problems between parents and children and what happens during the first years of their lives together.
Would you prefer smoking a cigarette? Go ahead, here, have. Smoke this whole deck in front of me. Go on. It's jammy time.
The nightly ritual begins. It's 8 o'clock. An 11-month-old Callum Hullett is going to bed. His dad, Alan, gets him ready.
Good night, Dee Dee.
Good night to Mommy.
Good night, Dee Dee.
Mommy with that.
Well, I can put him to bed.
Yeah, oh, you just know she's
But the Hullets haven't had a good night in 11 months
Good night, Daddy. Good night.
because baby Callum doesn't sleep.
Try and sleep tonight, okay? Not too much.
Come on. Let's go. Let's get you in here. Oh, I know you're not going to settle down.
The Hullets allowed Frontline to put a remote camera in Callum's bedroom to monitor him as his parents try to find out why the night holds such dread for their baby.
He's been doing this ever since he was born. He's never, ever slept through the night. He doesn't know the meaning of the word sleep.
In this house, dreams are replaced by Callum's screams. This night, Alan has already been in twice. He's in again at 3:06. At 5:05. At 5:45. It is now 6:29, and in less than an hour, he has to go to work at the local museum.
In the past few weeks, anyway, I seem to be up more frequently than Catherine getting in. But I think Catherine's reached the point where she's so tired that she sleeps through a lot of his noise making, which I'm not doing.
Sleepless nights often follow days when Callum refuses to nap. Out of this cacophony come some pretty desperate thoughts.
I kind of reached a point where I said, I can't go in there anymore because he's making me very angry.
Another household held hostage by a sleepless infant. 18-month-old Victoria Brigden just can't be comforted by her mother, Marceline.
When she wakes up at night, you can't really console her.
Neither can her father, Nels.
A lot of stress, a lot of stuff. I'm almost eager to go to work.
But Victoria's sleeplessness is not the only problem.
Dinner time is very stressful.
And there's more.
She follows me around everywhere I go. If I go to do laundry, she's there behind me down the stairs and constantly calling me, "Mommy, Mommy, Mommy," you know, wanting to know where I am all the time. You know, when we go out somewhere, she is, you know, very upset about us leaving.
These families found that their pediatricians could offer no solutions. So their quest for help led them here, Toronto's Hinks Institute, a children's mental health center researching these sorts of problems. Today, the Hollets, including Callum's brother, 4-year-old Tristan, are meeting with psychotherapist Liz Muir for a family assessment.
Daddy, would you help me build this tractor?
Well, I have to talk to this.
All the sessions here are taped to help the therapist review what was said and what was done. The parents will now delve into their own backgrounds and those of their children. Why does Tristan sleep while Callum screams through the night? The very first session delivers some clues. It starts with Catherine describing her first pregnancy.
Tristan was like the pregnancy from, I mean, it was so beautiful. I walked right through that pregnancy. I ate pasta and ice cream. I had a great time. I had a cesarean birth, and it was wonderful, and it was fun. Well, then I got pregnant when I was expecting. Yes. And I wasn't. I spent the first 3 months throwing up. I did it with him.
Catherine and Callum began their relationship in a difficult pregnancy that brought a painful delivery. A troubling start for Catherine's second son.
I can remember the very first thing I said to Callum, the very first second I saw him. I said, "You little bugger, you put me through hell."
11 months later, she feels distanced from her son.
He never cuddles. You almost feel, it's like, you know, here, I'm giving you so much, buddy, and you never give me anything back but a scream. Right, it's a very hard feeling. Yeah.
Marceline Brigden's smile at the birth of Victoria, her second daughter, masked a problem that was etched into the relationship from the very first moments.
She's never been a baby that really likes to be held.
Marceline's story is strikingly similar to Catherine's. She too has a child she feels she can't cuddle. And like Catherine, her second pregnancy was a good deal more difficult than the first.
What was the pregnancy like? Was she planned?
Yes. She was planned. But I had a very difficult pregnancy with her.
Did you?
I was sick. I was hospitalized right early in the beginning. I had hyperemesis, which is constant vomiting.
And Victoria's difficult arrival placed more blocks in the way of their early relationship.
I was on intravenous. I couldn't hold the baby because I had catheter and I had IV, and they took the baby at night for the first. I was in the hospital for 4 nights with her. So, yeah, it was pretty rough.
The children are put through a series of tests, and it turns out they are all developing as they should physically, but not emotionally. The focus then turns to the relationship they have formed with their mothers. This is the strange situation test. Victoria has been left in the room with a friendly stranger. When Marceline returns, the quality of the relationship is measured by how easily they cuddle, how quickly the child is settled, how close they seem. The conclusion is, these children suffer from insecure attachment. It was the late British psychiatrist John Bowlby who developed the theory of attachment. He believed that children who didn't fully connect with their mothers carried a burden into later life. He studied how orphans behaved and noticed the same anxieties in children where the separation from the parents wasn't physical, but emotional.
There were certain behaviors or symptoms, you might call them, of early infancy and young childhood, such as difficulty in sleeping, difficulty with eating, tantruming, and then clinging and difficulties with separating from the parents.